What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a little Jays talk. Today we're going to be recapping the Tampa Bay Rays versus Toronto Blue Jays spring training game, as well as go over one of the Blue Jays players that might be better off served if they just hang up the cleats at this point in time. It's been ugly. But before we get into all that, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The support is greatly appreciated. So, let's get into it. Blue Jays win 4-1 over the Tampa Bay Rays. And in this game, we saw most of the major league squads playing, including, we got some major league pitchers as well. I'll put the box score up beside me here so you can actually see, so I don't need to go over every single player. The only changes that I would make to this lineup are probably Will Wagner would be at designated hitter, and Ernie Clement would be the third baseman. And this is going off of John Schneider's comments about Dalton Varsho maybe starting on the IL. So that's more of the assumption I'm working with right now, just because that's the most recent comments that I've seen that suggested Varsho wouldn't be with the team. And then the center fielder being Stuart Baroa. I don't know if that's going to be the case on opening day. I think Miles Straw is probably in the lead there. But yeah, we'll see how the 40-man roster shakes out when all of the cuts and options and all that take place to see if there's room for Straw or how that goes. The one player that I touched on that probably is better off just hanging it up, though, is George Springer. And you can see beside me there, he went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He hit into a double play with the bases loaded. It's a good thing these games don't mean anything because, man, has he been an anchor. It has not looked good. And after seeing the way he batted last year, the way he's doing it this year, he's at best a bench option at this point. He still plays all right defense, but Alan Roden, pretty much everybody, every outfielder, Nathan Lucas, Davis Schneider, all these guys have outperformed, and there's nothing really that I see in Springer's game that makes me suggest it's going to get any better. I don't even know if you can call it a bright spot. The only quote-unquote bright spot that I can see is that he's been pulling the ball, and maybe he's working on something with Popkins, but it's getting pretty tough to defend game after game after game of him just looking like absolute trash. So yeah, Jays are going to be forced into a tough decision with him real soon. Just to summarize how the offense went, again, you'll be able to see the box score beside me, but Bo Bichette looked really good, 3 for 4. He's absolutely ripping the ball this spring. Everyone else is basically just going along status quo, what you'd hope to see out of them. They go 0 for the odd game, they go 2 for 2 like Will Wagner did this game, but all in all, actually Will Wagner's defense was really a highlight today. He was put in at third base, and I'd been wondering why we hadn't been seeing him play there so much lately, and he made 2 phenomenal plays, coming in barehanding a ball, throwing across his body, like difficult high-level plays, and he made them look really good. So yeah, it's nice to see because I don't picture Aurelvis Martinez playing third base long-term, but Will Wagner is a guy that I could see at least platooning with an Ernie Clement or moving Ernie Clement to a utility role. So yeah, I'd really enjoy seeing Will Wagner get a lot more run at third base, and hopefully he's up to the task. On the pitching side, like I mentioned, we did see pretty well major league bullpen and starters, like the Rays through Taj Bradley, so that was really good to get the Blue Jays exposure to, and he got lit up pretty good by the Jays offense. And Bowden Francis looked like his, 2024 self. He was carrying, I think, a no-hitter into the 6th inning, maybe? 5th or 6th inning anyways. He ended up going 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He did let up the home run. But yeah, all in all, he looked really good. The results were better than his previous starts, but I didn't notice a huge difference in, his command or his pitch selection. I didn't notice anything that really stood out to me. I'll have to look deeper into the numbers later. Chad Green came in, looked like Chad Green. Fluharty continues to look really impressive. He got 2 strikeouts in his inning. Nick Sandlin, with Eric Swanson being a little bit iffy and some of the other pitching questions going on, if Nick Sandlin can step up and be a guy for, those 7th and 8th innings when the other guys need rest, he could be a real game changer for this bullpen because he's got some really nasty stuff and some real swing and miss there. And then Tommy Nance came in, throwing curveball after curveball after curveball, doing the Tommy Nance, and he looked, okay. Basically how Tommy Nance always looks. And, he's another guy with some of these injuries to Ryan Burr, Swanson. He's a guy that is pushing and we're likely to see in Toronto at some point this year. So, it is worth keeping an eye on him. But yeah, that was my takeaway from today is basically offense looks pretty good. I'm happy with how the pitching's coming along. George Springer is going to ask some serious questions of this management because Are we going with the best 26 or are we playing loyalty? I understand that he's owed over 20 million this year, but that money's spent regardless. So do you compound the problem and also have him hurt your regular squad? I don't know. I'm open to giving him a shot on the bench or maybe giving him the first few starts of the year, but it is looking tough, and there are a lot of guys playing better than George Springer at this point. So, yeah, that's going to be a real question real soon. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What did you see today? What are your thoughts on the opening day roster? We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.